Her 9000's game room.
Hang On was an arcade racing game released by Sega in 1985, in which you control a motorbike racing against computer-controlled bikes. It was one of the first arcade games to use 16-bit graphics and uses the Superscalar arcade system board. The deluxe cabinet also introduced a motion-controlled aspect to it, where the player's body movement on a large motorbike corresponds with the player character's movements on screen. Hang On started the trend of motion simulator games in the late 1980s, which Sega followed up with Space Harrier, Outrun and Afterburner, all of which I have already reviewed the Master System versions of. The introduction of these interesting cabinets helped the arcade video game market grow during the late 1980s. Hang On has been recognised as a well-remembered and influential arcade game. Several sequels were later made for the arcades as well as video game consoles. Every time I jump on an arcade machine with a bike, I can't help but think of this game. Not long ago I was on holiday and I played a few bike-related arcade machines including Superbike Street and MotoGP, and for a brief time it transported me back to my youth playing Hang On. Yo Suzuki began development of Hang On after deciding to design a motorcycle racing game as a way to use a torsion bar in an arcade game. However, in the end this particular item wasn't actually used in the game cabinet. Market research was conducted and the results suggested that GP500 racing was popular, and so this is what the game was based upon, despite the fact that Suzuki originally wanted to go with dirt biking, an idea he would later return to. Hang On was very popular. It was the highest grossing arcade game of 1986 in both Japan and the United States. It received an overwhelmingly positive critical reception, with people being impressed by its realism, its graphics and the cabinet. It was just amazing at the time, controlling the bike on screen by riding the model bike attached to the arcade machine. Apparently there was some initial controversy in Japan over modesty concerns involving female players riding the bike cabinet. Oh, matron. Okay, so now let's talk about the Master System's conversion. Obviously the graphics have been scaled down to meet the capabilities of the machine, but it's instantly recognisable as being Hang On. The music provided on the title screen is really good, but unfortunately it's the only music you'll hear in this game. Once you start playing the game you won't hear any music at all. All you're going to hear is the sounds of the motorcycle revving and your tyres screeching. I've never been a fan of this sort of sound choice for games. Ideally I'd like music with engine noises and tyre screeches lowering volume just there in the background, but if that's not possible due to memory constraints or something, I'd sooner have had a basic tune and not bothered with the engine noises and the screeching tyres. After all, good music is preferable if you can't have both. So the objective of the game is to avoid the other bikers and race against the clock, making sure to hit 5 checkpoints and then reach the finish line. 60 seconds are available per section, although any remaining time is automatically added to your total time once you pass a checkpoint. The controls are simple. Button 2 is the accelerator, button 1 is the brakes, the D-pad up and down directions are used for changing between the 3 gears, and left and right are used to control your bike. It was a long time since I'd played this port, and when I first started to play it again, I was going all over the shop, constantly coming off the bike, not making it to any checkpoints, and on the verge of turning the air blue. After some practice though, the game just seemed to click. Basically you have to learn to properly manage your gear changes, and I'd also add you need to learn to ignore the brake. What I find myself doing was letting go of the accelerator and then tapping it while going around corners or trying to swerve, and then putting my finger back on the accelerator button when on a clear straight road. This kept the sliding to a minimal and made sure I stayed on the road and helped me avoid other bikes. Soon using this method I was hitting checkpoints, overtaking bikes and beginning to enjoy the game. I think that Hang On the Master System is a good conversion. Obviously it's not quite up to the standards set by the arcade version, but I think it's a good representation of what this little machine can handle, and it provides something that is in the spirit of its bigger arcade brother. I do think you need to bear with it a little and get through some teething pain to get the most out of the game. Overall I'd score this game 7 out of 10. If you want a cart of it, well, when I looked around online you were looking at about the £10 mark for a loose cart. I'd recommend that you grab Mega Games 1, a multi-game cart that includes the Mega Drive game Super Hang On, as this can be grabbed for around the £3 mark online and includes not only Super Hang On, but 2 other games for less than this individual cart would cost you on the Master System. Okay, that's Kerr9000 signing off saying, Keep on enjoying those games. Laters, taters. Hi, it's Kerr9000. Thank you for checking out my video and for making it to the end. If you'd like to subscribe, then there'll be a little thing for you to click on right near the end. And you'll also see a link to one of my videos and one of my playlists. I make reviews of horror films, both modern and retro video game reviews, science fiction film reviews, and all kinds of other stuff. I even show off some of my collection. You can also find me on the Retro Gamer Unofficial Forum, which is a great place for retro gaming chat, and it keeps on growing every day. It's well worth checking out. Once again, thank you very much and have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.